What if the very thing you're calling a delay is actually God's protection? What if the door that keeps closing isn't the devil blocking you, but God redirecting you? So many times we say we're trusting God, yet deep down, we're fighting Him. We pray for His will, but only if it looks like our plan. And when it doesn't, we resist, we push back, we doubt. But the truth is, fighting God's plan will never bring peace. Only surrender will. You thought you had it all figured out. The relationship, the career, the dream. It all seemed to line up, until it didn't. Then suddenly, everything started to fall apart. You prayed, fasted, tried harder, but the more you fought to keep it alive, the more it slipped through your hands. You said, "God, why are you doing this to me?" But maybe, just maybe, He wasn't doing it to you. He was saving you from it. Remember Jonah? God told him to go to Nineveh, but Jonah went in the opposite direction, toward Tarshish. He had his own plan, his own reasoning. He thought he knew better, but the storm came. The ship shook, and Jonah had to learn the hard way. You can't outrun God's plan, so how do you know if you're fighting God's plan for your life? Here are 5 signs that it might be time to stop running and start surrendering. Sign 1. You keep forcing what won't fit. You're trying to make something work that God has clearly closed off. No peace, no flow, no fruit. You keep saying, maybe I just need to try harder. But the truth? It's not harder you need. It's alignment. In the book of Proverbs, chapter 19, verse 21, it says, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." When you keep forcing what won't fit, you're exhausting yourself fighting against a door God never asked you to open. Sign 2. You feel restless, even when everything looks right. You've achieved what you thought would make you happy. The job, the relationship, the success. But something inside you still feels empty. That's not failure. That's a holy discomfort. It's God whispering, "There's more." In the book of Isaiah, chapter 26, verse 3, it says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." If peace is missing, it's often because we're holding on to control. God's will doesn't always make sense, but it always brings peace. Sign 3. You're resisting change. You can sense God calling you to move, to step out, to let go, to grow. But you keep saying, "Not yet." You're afraid of losing what's familiar. But the same comfort zone you're protecting might be the cage that's keeping you from your purpose. In the book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 1, God told Abram, "Leave your country, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you." Abram didn't know where he was going, but he went, because faith moves first, clarity comes later. Sign 4. You're filled with frustration instead of faith. When everything feels like a constant fight, when you're always irritated, drained, and anxious, that's not God's peace. That's your spirit at war with His direction. Sometimes frustration isn't from the enemy, it's from resistance. It's God trying to loosen your grip on what's not meant to stay. In the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verse 6, it says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. When you truly surrender, anxiety loses its hold." Sign 5. You've stopped hearing God's voice clearly. It's not that God went silent, it's that you stopped listening. You only wanted confirmation, not correction. You only listened for a yes, not a wait. In the book of Psalm, chapter 46, verse 10, it says, "Be still and know that I am God." When you slow down long enough to be still, you'll realize He never stopped speaking. You were just too busy arguing to hear Him. God's plan will not always be easy. It will stretch you, break you. It will call you out of your comfort and into your calling. But every time you surrender, you'll find that His plan was never to harm you. It was to heal you. In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11, it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." You can fight God and lose peace, or you can surrender to Him and find purpose. Either way, His plan will stand. But how you experience it, that's up to you. So, maybe today is your Jonah moment. The storm isn't punishment, it's mercy. It's God saying, "Stop running, come back to me." You don't have to understand everything. You just have to trust the one who does. Lay it down. That relationship, that dream, that plan you keep trying to resurrect. If it's truly from God, it won't die when you let it go. But if it's not, it will only drain you until you do. God's will is not meant to be fought. It's meant to be followed. And when you finally surrender, you'll look back and realize what you thought was the end was actually the beginning of His beautiful plan for your life. Stop fighting what God is trying to finish, because everything you're afraid to lose is nothing compared to what He's getting ready to give.